Harley Davidson going broke. Let's get into it inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're enjoying the channel and the series of videos. Please subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, leave those comments and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. And you'll also find the links to Patreon and PayPal there. So, in this video, I'm talking about Harley Davidson. Are they going bust, broke, bankrupt, whatever word you want to think of? Now, if you were to believe a lot of the media attention, also printed press, magazine articles, even online bloggers and YouTubers, then all is not well with the world, and all is not well in the Harley Davidson world, at least. There's no doubt that they have been suffering over the last few years in terms of falling sales, and there's no doubt that they've had to readdress the balance in some way. They've had the CEO change, of course, we've under this rewire program, so they are trying to address a few things. Their sales are down by 75% or 80%, but that's not just Harley Davidson, that's just right across the board. Speculation is rife of which motorcycles will survive in the model lineup and which will be culled. We already know that the Pan America and the Bronx have been pushed back to 2021, but don't read too much into that because this is also part of the Rewire program where they've shifted the new model launch from August till spring. So that was always part of the program. The question here is, it's not whether Harley Davidson will go bankrupt, which I don't think they will. And it's not even a case of, oh, is Harley Davidson the best motorcycle manufacturer in the world? Are they better than Honda, or Honda better than them? In fact, or any other manufacturer better than Harley Davidson? I don't think they are, but I think they're doing things differently. And that could be the key difference between future prosperity and whether things might get really difficult for them. Let me explain. So I've always had the belief that Harley Davidson make great motorcycles for their target audience. But that target audience is changing. A lot of the older guard are getting older. A lot of the newer guard, the so-called millennials, they may not be buying motorcycles, but they may not even be buying motorcycles of a particular type, of a particular style, and also at a particular price tag. So where does that leave Harley Davidson? Well, it leaves them in exactly the same position as every other motorcycle manufacturer that sell top-end motorcycles for top-end prices. Now, Harley Davidson, as I suppose all motorcycle brands, they're selling a lifestyle. Whether you're selling the cruiser lifestyle, the off-road lifestyle, the speedster lifestyle, whatever it is, every manufacturer is selling something that draws people into buying motorcycles. Each manufacturer, let's say like Ducati, let's say Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, whatever it is, their top brands or their top models are just as expensive as the Harley Davidsons for the most part. They are going to be suffering with the sales of those top marques as well. There's no doubt. So to single out Harley Davidson for dwindling sales, well, actually you've really got to apply that same logic to all other manufacturers. But where other manufacturers might do a lot better than Harley Davidson is in their diversity of their model range. Now, many people would say that Harley Davidson is that aspirational motorcycle manufacturer. They provide and build motorcycles to a discerning clientele, and there's a price tag to match. That could be so. It also could be saying that their target audience is going to be the older gentleman or lady who has a few more pennies in their wallet or purse, whatever. That means that most of the motorcycles that they sell are going to be out of the price range of the next generation coming through. Whereas some other motorcycle manufacturers, namely let's say the Japanese Big Four for example, well, not only do they sell the cruisers, but they sell a lot of high performance motorcycles which will probably not be sold as many right now as well. But they also sell the low displacement engines, the mopeds, the 125s, the 250s. all those small motorcycles that get people into motorcycling, that are the little commuter motorcycles. They sell those, where Harley Davidson for the most part don't really sell those. Now obviously I suppose you could argue that they have the entry with the street. You could also say that this Sportster is verging on that as well. And you could also say into the Softail range, they've started with a Softail standard as well. So there is entry level to a certain degree, but nowhere near as much as other manufacturers. Now, many people would love to throw darts at Harley Davidson and say, yes, they're a sinking ship, the flames are getting out of control, and all the rats have fled, leaving just a carcass in its wake. Yes, there is an element of that, or there is an element of scaremongering, no doubt. But you could also, as I say, apply some of that logic to other manufacturers as well. Triumph, Ducati, Moto Guzzi, even the big Japanese four will be suffering as well. But let's not forget that actually there are many other small motorcycle manufacturers around the globe that will probably go under before Harley Davidson do. Harley Davidson are a massive company and they have a global presence, and yes, it is stagnated a little bit, and yes, they have had reducing sales, but there is still a brand there. So are they necessarily worse or better than any other motorcycle manufacturer right now? Actually, I think they're in exactly the same boat. They have the same issues to deal with, but what they don't have is the ability to offer struggling customers who have struggling finances with an entry-level motorcycle, or a motorcycle that is cheap to buy, cheap to run, cheap to insure, and will get people moving and also get people into the brand. Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, and Yamaha, for example, have that. That doesn't make them better. That doesn't make Harley Davidson a lesser motorcycle. It's just a different type of motorcycle, and it's appealing to a different type of clientele. That clientele may not be around right now. That clientele might be tightening their belts. And when you have potential customers with less disposable income, especially right now because of the pandemic that's gone around the globe, and the global recession which is likely to hit, then people won't be spending as much money. That means that companies like Harley Davidson will feel it before any other company of the same stature. Does this mean that they go bankrupt? Well, I certainly hope not. I think Harley Davidson should be a company that is here to stay, and they should continue building the motorcycles that they have been. But if Mr. Zeitzer was listening to me now, I would say heavily invest in smaller displacement engines. It might not be to everybody's liking. It might not be what Harley Davidson stalwarts want to see. But if it's about getting models through the door, if it's about income into the company, then I think that's the way to go. I'm not saying abandon the Harley Davidson motorcycles or what they aim for, or how it should be an aspirational motorcycle for a lot of people. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that they need to position the company in a much better place. A much better place to which they can recover from this global situation. The problems that Harley Davidson are having right now are not of their own making entirely. A lot of companies, as I've already said in previous videos, will be suffering because of the coronavirus and the pandemic, and also the knock-on effect with the economy and the recession. People out of work, people reduce money all over the globe. They're not going to be buying motorcycles. They're not going to be buying things which they can spend their money elsewhere. Now, does that mean that people will stop buying Harley Davidsons? No, but actually the used bike market might get a lift. But it's new motorcycle sales which is the bread and butter for any motorcycle company, regardless of parts, regardless of accessories, regardless of branding. Harley Davidson is a motorcycle manufacturer. They sell motorcycles. Could it be that if this new 5-year plan under the new administration doesn't quite work, could we see a changing in Harley Davidson in the way they do business and what they offer to customers of the future? Could we be sat here in 10, 15 years time trying to explain to the up and coming generation, hey look, do you want to buy a Harley Davidson? And they'll be saying, what, who are they? What are they? Oh, they just sell t-shirts, don't they? They just sell. It could be a situation like that. I certainly hope not, and I don't think it will be. There's a lot of scaremongering going on right now. There's a lot of people who would love to see Harley Davidson fall by the wayside, but there's lots of people like me who would love to see them come back strong. But I would also like to see a bit more diversity in their entry-level motorcycles. That's not to say that they should abandon any of their existing, but just have a little bit more. And it comes down to affordability, and it comes down to attracting the next generation. Whether we like it or not, whether we like the new motorcycles that they want to produce is irrelevant. It's about the next generation. What do they want? And it's tapping into that. If they can do that, they'll survive. If they can't, it won't be good for them. It won't be good. There'll be a general decline. And if you've ever watched the movie Other People's Money, listen out for the speech by Danny DeVito. Go check it out, because it's about a company who was having an increasing share of a reducing market until they have nothing left. And essentially, Harley Davidson could have an increasing share of a reducing big cruiser motorcycle market that nobody wants, nobody can afford, and they'll be out of business. That's the real risk. They're not there yet. They're nowhere near there yet. But it could be a possibility if this new 5-year plan under Jochen Zeitz doesn't work. Anyway, hope you found that useful. As I say, there's a lot of scaremongering right now. There's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of pro-Harley, anti-Harley talk going on right now. But I think it comes down to whether the company can tap into the new market, the new potential buyers, and also will those buyers have the disposable income right now in the next few years to actually pay for these motorcycles? That's the key thing. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. As I say, please subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, leave those comments, let us know what you think about this, about the future of Harley Davidson. Have they made a rod for their own back? Are they to blame themselves? Can they recover? Do they have the right stuff to recover? And will future generations buy into the Harley Davidson dream and lifestyle? Yet to be seen. I certainly hope they do. Catch you again on the next video, whenever that is. Cheers now.